Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we're wrapping up our 10th official season of Animal Outtakes. So we're taking a look back at some of our most memorable interviews from this year. Inspiring accounts of perseverance and patience, the people and animals who motivate us all to do something good, and the latest happenings at Dantes Den. New programs, new buildings, and a bright outlook for the future of the dens. And later in the show, a story of success. How students in Crystal River are doing their part, inspiring stewardship for generations to come. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. We're here at Dantes Den Foundation in Myakka City, Florida, our home away from home. It's a place I dreamed about for many years, and I am happy to say it is the best place to be a dog. Dantes Den is a 501c3 not-for-profit foundation, and our main mission is to take care of canines and other animals that need to be loved and made healthy and whole. And so this is what we do. As a private foundation, we do not receive any grants, so we depend upon the very good-heartedness of people that believe in our mission, and a lot of people believe in our mission. Why? Because we are a sanctuary. We do not do euthanasia because we don't have space. If we don't have space, we go ahead and build, and we find the space. But they are wonderful animals that come here to live. Sanctuary is a safe haven, and this is what we provide. And not only do we have the dogs, and now we have cats in our long-term care, we take care of cows. You'll see we probably have about 21 miniature Holstein that live on the property. We have a marvelous donkey named Hee-Haw. She takes care of them, she protects them, and we take care of her. We now also have a miniature horse. Her name is Mischief, and she very much lives up to her name, Mischief. And we're going to be creating a special paddock for her so that she'll be able to run and run free with us. We are known for the programs that we have. Again, they fall into the category of sanctuary. So we do have a long-term care whereby you can bequeath your dog or your cat to us, prepare for the future, if perhaps the future does not include you. And the dogs and the cats will live in an 8x10 room, air-conditioned. They have their own special pool. They have walkways that they can run and walk in, which brings us to a new program that we are so proud to have. It's called Boots and Badges. And the volunteers are the firemen, the policemen, and first responders. And so they come here on their days off, and when they could be doing something altogether different, they come here to bathe our babies, to walk our babies, and help us wherever we can, and we are forever grateful to them. Sanctuary is defined as a safe haven, and that's what we provide for all of the animals here. And this is Travis. I'd like to introduce you to him. He came to us, and quite frankly, he was a mess. He was under untold medication to the point where we really didn't know what was the matter with him. Unfortunately, he got himself involved in a little scuffle where he was, and he lost an eye, and he came to Dantes. And one of the first things we did was we worked with our veterinarian, we did some tests, and we got him off of the medication to find out who is really Travis. Not the one that's under meds, but the one that can just do what he needs to do. And then, of course, we started working with him. When you talk about a near perfect dog, I got him right here. My bucket list is long, but one of the main things is the hospital. Recently, we opened up the hospital to the public. We hold clinics, and we're so proud of the veterinarian staff that we have, Dr. Ali Cohn, Dr. Alta Bujarski, and now we have added Dr. Sam Ali, and he is going to be doing our urgent care. We are so proud to be able to do this. It is something which is very needed, and we're going to be working from 12 noon to 12 midnight. In the hospital. We're going to start on the weekends, and we're going to be able to take care of these little guys, because you know they never get sick between 8 to 5. They get sick between 5 p.m. and after. So we're so very proud of that. We have a couple of other projects which we're not ready to roll out yet, but they are exciting. So Dantes Den continues to grow. We want to do the very best at what we do. We work very hard at keeping these guys safe and sound. We are a 24/7 operation. We have full-time staff through the night, through the day. We have a lot on our plates, and we enjoy each and every minute. Why don't you come and see us? We'd love to open up our gates to you. What say you? Dantes Den, the best place to be a dog. Along with the proper basic care, our foundation also offers specialized training. We have an AKC certified staff member who works tirelessly to make life easy on our canines, breaking barriers down to give these pups a better chance at a quality of life.
I would like to introduce you to Mochi. Mochi is a Japanese Akita Inu, a lot different than the American Akita. We have Jules in here, and you've seen Jules in the past with us. Mochi does come from Japan. We got Mochi here because of the abuse / aggression issues that Mochi has suffered from his previous owner. The only training Mochi had before coming here, was dominance training. What his owner did was take his forearm, pin Mochi's head to the ground, and lay on top of Mochi for about 3 hours to dominate the dog. So since that's happened, down. Mochi has become very aggressive. So our job here is to take that aggression out of him, get him to interact and be able to play and be a social member of the Dantes family. As you can see, we can pet, we can play, and Mochi is a lover now. So we're gonna walk around, we're gonna meet each of the staff members and get Mochi introduced and show some more of his socialization skills. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by going to Zach, and when we get to Zach, I'm gonna let Zach introduce himself, and he's gonna give Mochi a couple commands. All right, come Mochi, yep. So next, we're gonna move over to Ali. And Ali's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna get Mochi to sit, and he's gonna have Mochi lay down.
Moch, sit, down, good boy. Moch, sit, down.
What we do here with our behavior modifications is I start with a dog that's very aggressive, and until I can hand the dog off to another handler, I can't be sure that his aggression levels come down a little bit, right? So what I want to do is I want to be able to get him around as many people as possible. So far in the past, a lot of people he's been around, Mochi's grabbed a hold of, right? So as you can see now, I am sticking my hand into Mochi's mouth. He's doing a lot better. He's a lot more friendly. I know, buddy. And so we're trying to build on that with his socialization skills. So I want him to play, and I want him to meet, and I want him to talk to every single staff member we have. The only thing Mochi has known up to coming to Dantes Den is abuse. The more comfortable we get Mochi, the bigger the opportunity we will get to find him a home down the road. He's very young, he's 2 years old, and we're slowly working the aggression out of him. And as you can see, he's doing very well. In the beginning, he would have lunged and he would have gone after almost every single one of the staff members. So we're breaking him of those habits, And look, as you can see, he's happy, he's playing with the staff members, he's out here walking around. Having every handler understand the inherent dangers that Mochi can present is super important so we can minimize and or mitigate the amount of issues we may have in the future. Being confident and calm goes a long way when you're working in a dog like Mochi.
By now, I think you can see we believe. Every dog deserves a lifelong, loving home. And Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention and is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. If you are interested in welcoming one of these amazing animals into your home, please contact us for more information. Stick around. There's much more animal outtakes coming up after the break.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's Den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
Welcome back. From Dante's Den Foundation came the concept of a TV show called Animal Outtakes. A way for me to spread my message about this wonderful foundation here in Myakka, and a way to bring you stories that need to be heard. This show has given us a chance to showcase some unique and interesting animals and tell their story. We've also focused on the devoted people who have dedicated their lives to making amends with the abused and injured animals in our community. Here's a look back.
I honestly believe the kindest people in this world with the biggest hearts are the ones that are the most in tune with animals.
He has a soul, he does. I mean, anybody that thinks they don't, and it's easy for people that spend no time around animals to think that they don't have a soul or a mind or an individual personality. But once you're with them and spend time with them, you know they do, and you can't deny it. So then it becomes much more difficult to be cruel to them and to do cruel things to them. It is important. A single life is important. If he hadn't been picked up and brought in here 15 years ago, he would have had a normal iguana life. He's a big male iguana. He would have been able to breed with other iguanas. He would have had a normal life.
Owls are our official city bird. They're important for our tourism. There's people literally from all over the world that come just to see our burrowing owls. I would say we probably spend 10,000 hours a year out in the field. Whether it's staking nests, weed whacking, checking on burrows, driving around, and there's probably at least 10 people that do this year-round.
We are the world's largest nonprofit dedicated to coral reef restoration. To date, in 2022, we have restored over 34,000 square meters of coral reef through our outplanting process and returning corals to the wild here in the Florida Keys.
I'm definitely infected with the lionfish bug. I want to capture as many lionfish as possible. Not just for the fact that I can sell them and continue diving and doing research reconnaissance of the whereabouts of the lionfish deeper than divers can see. That's part of our mission. But the other mission is to recover lionfish and get them out of the environment. It is critically important for the survival of the coral ecosystem that we do it. If you eat fish, you really need to be on board getting rid of lionfish, because the lionfish are eating what you're eating now, and pretty soon there's not going to be any more fish for you. It's that bad.
It was definitely a state of shock at first, and then making sure everybody was okay, and then it just turned into emotion, just a lot of emotion. I cried a lot. I was like, oh my gosh, Sunshine, you know, just had a baby. But yeah, so then she ended up being such a miracle, especially the time she was born, right at the beginning of the pandemic and everything. She just really became such a source of light for us here at the sanctuary.
Just in the basic training, you're talking hundreds of hours that we spend with them, teaching them what we want them to do and how to be our partner. From there, it grows into a trust. And we spent a minimum of 14 hours a day with these dogs. They live with us at home. Sometimes we spend just as much time with these dogs as we do with our family.
It's amazing. Some of them get taller. You know, it's like they're all shut down and, you know, oh my God, don't look at me kind of thing. And then you see them just decompress and turn into the horses that they were meant to be.
All animals, just like a dog or a cat, will develop a bond with their human, their person that has adopted them, and showing them all the love and attention. And it's very disruptive for them when you can no longer care for them, and there's a medical reason on your end or a financial reason. That's understandable, but because they've gotten too big, or you didn't do your research and you have to just toss them aside, that really affects the animal. It takes them a long time to adjust to having to come into a situation like this, living at a sanctuary. We give them as much love and attention as we can, and we have volunteers that come in, but it is a big adjustment for the animal.
Stay with us. There's more animal outtakes coming up next. With summer vacation upon us, some may be looking for a safe place to leave your pet. At Dantes Den Foundation in Myakka, we offer a secure boarding option for your dog or cat. And if you need some advice on what to look for, here's what we recommend. Tour the potential facility and watch how the kennel techs and employees interact with the dogs. Always trust your instincts. You want to make sure it's a safe location, that it smells clean, and that the temperature is controlled. Make sure someone is on site 24 hours a day. You never know what could happen. Look to see if there's proper ventilation in the building, and find out what their emergency procedures are in the event of a fire or natural disaster. See if there are immunization requirements and whether flea and tick screenings are done upon arrival. Once you pick your place, make sure you provide a comprehensive list of the medications your pet may take and what allergies exist, if any. Also, make sure you communicate your wishes for your dog or cat in case of a medical emergency. You can find out if the staff are certified in first aid and what emergency vet you would prefer if needed. We know it can be hard to leave your beloved pet when you go out of town. So taking the time to research a proper facility will make a big difference for both you and your four-legged friend. An immersive journey culminated recently for 5th graders from the Crystal River Primary School. The event coincided with the completion of a large-scale restoration effort to restore and protect the health of Crystal River. It's an incredible process that has proved successful in many ways, and all involved are hoping it's a model for other communities who may be struggling with water quality issues.
Well, this is the most exciting day of the year for us and for the students from Crystal River Primary School. They have spent this entire year growing eelgrass in aquariums in each of their classrooms. Everybody from pre-K through 5th grade at that school grows their eelgrass, does experiments, compares it to each other's classrooms, and learns about the ecology of the river. And at the end of the school year, the whole 5th grade comes to Hunter Springs Park and plants all of the grass into the Crystal River. They're doing their part to restore Crystal River that way.
I felt like I actually doing something. It felt good. It felt like I'm alive, because I used to be little and like I put eelgrass and then I put it in tanks. Now I'm the one who's taking the tanks out and planting it.
This is their home, so they need to learn what's important and how to protect it, and what they can do to be good stewards of the environment. So if there's something else happens down the road and there becomes another problem, they're going to recognize it and they're going to know we've got to do something. We can't just sit here and watch it happen. It was a disaster. After the '93 storm, all the freshwater grass died and sank to the bottom, and nobody really knew, I don't think, how disastrous that was. But it killed all the freshwater grass, and an invasive Lingbia, a blue-green algae, moved in and just took over the river, and it was 6 feet deep in places, and it would break loose. It would get all on the boat docks and on the seawalls, and it was the biggest mess you've ever seen. Nothing could live in it. There was no food supply, so there were very few fish, a few crabs. Everything had just basically died out. The whole ecosystem. There was no grass in the food chain anymore, and so when we started vacuuming all this out and replacing the grass, which is essential to the basis of the food chain, the fish started coming back. Next thing you know, the bigger fish are back. Manatees are happy as they can be. They've got so much grass to eat. And then the birds are back. The birds that we haven't seen here in years are now back because they have food supply. At this point, we finished 92 acres that we started out to finish. We're permitting another 80 acres. We've opened up over 450 spring vents by pulling that Lingbia out of those clogged up vents, so the spring flow is back. We planted over, I think it's over 250,000 individual plants that have now grown from the 92 acres to over 300 acres, and it's still spreading. And we've taken out like 2 million tons of Lingbia, rotten material, which is about the size of the biggest cruise ship out there. That's how much was in this river that we have taken out, and we took it to a farm, and they spread it out over their pasture, and they said they've never seen such great grass. So it's every single thing that's happened about this project has been positive.
The original project was highly successful in the fact that it expanded outside of the original boundaries. And that's what you want. You want 1 + 1 to equal 3. There are still areas inside Kings Bay Crystal River that are not suitable for eelgrass colonization because of the mucky substrate and the algae. So the secondary phase is to clean up those areas just the same way we did the first phase. One of the really interesting things is how important genetic diversity of our plants are. So there's plants that eelgrass that we planted that are fast growing, really fast colonizing. Well, we also have hurricanes that push salt water in here. So we started planting plants with high salt tolerance. So there's a variety of different genetics and what wins out long term. And hopefully they'll be just, as these species are interbreeding with each other, it's just going to create that genetic diversity for continued resilience.
It's so fulfilling to be part of a solution. And we always said at the beginning, if it works here, it can be a model for the state of Florida. Other people can do it. So they're already doing it in the Homosassa River. Caloosahatchee is doing a similar project. Wikiwachi, they're looking at trying to help Indian River Lagoon. Sea and Shoreline is involved in all these projects, and they're the contractor that came to us and helped us restore our river, and are still doing it because we've got another 80 acres to go. We finished our first 92 by our goal, the centennial celebration this year for the city of Crystal River. And we made that goal, and now we're going for another 80 acres and make sure that we not only restore our whole river, but we keep it that way. Continue the maintenance, continue the awareness, continue the education.
I never did anything like this before, and I felt alive.
We'll be right back. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dantes Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dantes Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We will be back here again next week with even more animals and some engaging encounters. Until then, thanks for watching.